So it's the Monday after our drift day. The 240 had an issue where I changed the clutch. I just changed the minimum that I had to. I changed, just the piece that broke, and I cleaned everything up. I put a new gasket and seal and stuff in it. So evidently something else is wrong. So when I push the clutch in, the arm don't want to come back. So I push the clutch all the way down, the arm travels from the slave cylinder. We let off the clutch, the arm doesn't want to come back. So there's something in the transmission dragging. Maybe a burr inside that throwout bearing. I don't think so. And for you IS300 guys, one guy at the track is like, man, yeah, the IS300s are notorious for the lower ball joints coming apart. I had somebody say that before. So, needless to say, we got to put new ball joints, lower ball joints in it. Luckily, he was on the track. So, if you can't make heads or tails out of what's going on here, this ball joint belongs in there. So, that whole piece came apart. So, got our tie rod, so we're going to have to get a new outer tie rod, and I've got the ball joints ordered. The kit stayed in tight after I redone them, Loctited them, longer bolts. These are the bolts that come with, so I'm going to drop them, drop this piece, get the ball joint out, and we'll be ready to change this piece out, get another tie rod in. So yeah, that's the project with the IS300. For your IS300 guys, you definitely need to replace your ball joints. And this is the deal where we cut it to do our this kit here. So we got to recut that on our new ones and replace the lowers. So I got them ordered. They won't be here till later this evening, so we'll probably be working on it tomorrow, but I'm going to go ahead and take them off tonight. So that's what we're working on today. Alright, so I had some lady stop in here, and she's saying that she stopped in a month ago and her brakes are giving her trouble, and she stopped in here a month ago to get them worked on or something or whatever, and I'm like, lady, I think you got the wrong garage. It's like, no, this is the right place. So I had to break it to her that I don't work on anybody else's cars here, so which proves the point of why I don't want to work on cars for people. I've got people complaining about a brake job that is giving them problems that I didn't even do. And so that's the two bolts that hold this thing together. So it's pretty simple as far as, and that's all that jewel is. But it sits on top of this piece up here, like so, whatever, but completely pulled the guts out of it. So I'll hang on to that to get my cut angle for when I put it back in, and I have to get my new tie rod. But yeah, it's definitely, ball joint definitely broke. It caught my keeper to my wire or whatever. Whatever you call it. cotter pin, whatever you want to call it. But it ripped the end of it out. I can get a hold of it with a pair of channel locks or vice grips or something. It cut the end of it off and there's not much sticking out. Sometimes you gotta figure things out. I'm going to toy with this for a minute and try to get it out, and then we'll drop the other side. Alright, so we got the pin out. So now this is a 3/4 on this one. Once you get it going the right way. What I'm afraid of is when we get to the bottom of this thing, that where it got that into that bolt, it may not let us bring it out, but it might. Yeah, we're good. I need to drop this tie rod. I need to get me a ball joint splitter and get all this stuff took out of here. Actually got my ball joint splitter handy. So you take your ball joint splitter, pickle fork. Now you can see that one way it's uphill and the other way it's down. So this thing is directional to a point, but and I normally wouldn't hit on the end of that bolt, but we're not going to need this one, so there we go. So that's what broke, and like I say, it pulled out of that. So that was your ball joint, and it pulled that out. So that's one side. We gotta wait on the new parts to come. I'll go ahead and take the other side out. I'll get the wheels and stuff off. I just wanted to kind of take a look at the ball joint piece and drop it out. I think everything's gonna be okay, but I do need to get all of this crap off of here. So, all right, here we go. Alright, so got the shop cleaned up a little bit. I at least washed the floor down. I got the 240 in here. Now the clutch is acting like it's kind of working. So I may just drive it some next couple days. I still haven't registered it, so I may register it tomorrow. And once I get the front stuff done on that one, the IS300, I may just drive the 240 around a little while and see, you know, if it frees up a little bit. Maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe just hadn't been driven much, or it might have scarred up the inside of the bearing or something. But it's starting to, the clutch is at least working. I don't know what the arm's doing underneath, but it does feel like the clutch is at least working somewhat. So, but I did wash the floor down. I may start on the clutch on the Miata next day or so. So if I get that done, if that's going to be okay, then we can start on the Miata. If not, the 240 will be back on this lift and we'll pull the transmission out. Once we figure out what we need there, we'll get it either ordered or replaced or straightened up. Maybe something just come loose. And then after that, we'll get the Miata, and we'll probably start on that clutch on that thing after that. So that seems to be the plan. I don't, things don't always go as we plan. We may end up doing something different between here and there, but either way, that's the plan. Fix IS, address the 240, see what we need, or maybe fix it, may have to do some stuff, and then the Miata clutch. All right, so yeah, we'll pick back up tomorrow, see what we're doing. All right, here we go. So I got both of the lower ball joints ready, or well, they came in, now I got to get them ready as far as to be able to fit this car. So they have to be cut off for the CNC71 kit. And so what's got to happen is, I'll show you here, on these ball joints, the CNC71 kit, all right, we'll change the camera angle and we'll go from here. Okay, so what's got to happen is, this your old ball joint here, and this is the new one. If you can see, the CNC71 kit, you cut the ear off of it. Yeah, so I got to cut them, both of them, to be able to put them back on the car, and that way we can move on with this setup. So you can see what's missing on these things is that piece, so we have to cut those off for that CNC71 kit. So here we go. This is my last saw blade I got to shop, so I hope this will cut it. There's one. And if they're not cut perfectly, we can take our grinder and our grinding wheel on our bench, and we can actually trim them up or square them up a little. What you don't want to do is take too much off. Well, these, they change angle, so they have a rise to them, so they actually start getting taller. So you have to at least cut where it starts going uphill off. You have to cut that. All right, here we go on the second one. There's actually a line right there is where I cut. Got a little squirrely, but should be good. Sounds a little angled. We may have to grind her flat, but that'll work. Alright, so now we gotta figure out which one goes to which side, which I think thinking that one might be wrong. Let me find my old one. Here's the one that come apart, so I know that's to passenger one. So that'll go that other side. So this is the one that goes this side. Now we've got to do a little more grinding on this one. Alright, so I ground on it a little more. If you can see, it's kind of bright right now. That's it. I think we're good. Make sure our dowels go in, so we're good there. And now, get our bolts. This is the newer one, and it's got Teflon in those. I don't know about those. It's kind of, to me, that's questionable. So, in the lower ball joints, I don't know that I necessarily like it, but I don't know. We'll run it. The other side goes on the same way, just like that. And if you see that, so let me see where the camera's looking. Alright, so if you can see that there's a gap there on this side between the, right here, that gap, it's not a big deal, because if you look at the bolt hole itself, there's plenty of material there. The actual structural rigidity is the integrity of that bolt hole is not been damaged, so that thing's still just as solid as it should be to be able to put this kit in. So you just don't want to get too close to that bolt hole. It's the only thing. These are still well within range and safe. There we go. There we go. Pretty simple, straightforward design. I did order new tie rod ends too, so we should have tie rod ends coming. We won't have them today, but I'm gonna at least change these. Get these ready to rock and roll. And tie rod ends are super easy. You just unbolt them right there. You just break that nut loose, unthread it from the bar, replace the nut right here, or undo that, knock it out, and then put a new one back on. And you want to try to watch your distances here to try to get it aligned close. But that's pretty much it. I got to tighten those. Alright, so it ended up being a 22 millimeter. I couldn't find the standard, like I think it's 7/8, but it ended up being a 22 in metric. And like I say, I guess these are supposed to be strong enough to hold that kind of weight. And it would have came with the lock washer, I would assume, if it needed one. So we should be good. And that's that, I guess. All right, so I am going to go ahead and adjust the tie rods on them. It looked like it did change the camber on this thing, or the toe rather, so we're going to adjust it. All right, so I did find a 7/8. To be for certain, that is a 7/8 that comes on the new ones. And also, on your tie rods, we're going to adjust this thing. This thing is a 7/8 the nut on here. So that gives us, well, we can move that, and we'll get them both loose, and we will adjust the tie rods just a little bit. And on these things, all I can do is all I can do without having some toe plates or something of that caliber, but there is a way we can get it pretty close by measuring. I've got the steering wheel centered, and so what we do is we'll pull the inside measurement on the inside of the front tires, inside to inside, and then we'll go to the back, inside to inside. So the front inside to inside and the back inside to inside, and see if there's a measurement difference, and then we need to even out that number. So if it's, let's say it's 46.5 and 47.25, we split the difference. We try to get them at both of those numbers as close as possible, or as even as possible. All right, so on the measurements, the back is 53.5 and the front is 54. So we don't go the whole 1/2 inch, we go, so we need to go 1/4 inch in on the front. So like we're this, we need to come in, one of them needs to come 1/4 inch in, and I think it's the passenger side. So let me adjust on it, see if we can get it closer. Alright, so I got both of them at like 53 3/4, somewhere right in there. They're pretty close. I'm gonna let it down, put some weight on it, and we'll kind of reassess it and see what it looks like with some weight on it. So here we go. I'm feeling high.